Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, UFO Superstars. This month had an historic UFO UAP disclosure event, as recently predicted by Jeremy Corbell, investigative journalist and filmmaker, in his current Weaponized video podcast, and proclaimed by Dr. Gary Nolan of Stanford in his in-depth interview 2 years ago with Lex Friedman, computer AI expert, on his YouTube channel. Jeremy Corbell surprised us with his announcement of a 3-part documentary appearing on TMZ and featured on Tubi TV called UFO Revolution, with the facts presented by Corbell and investigative reporter and television journalist George Knapp from KLAS TV in Las Vegas. Part 1 premiering on Tuesday, January 9th. All 3 episodes are now up for binging. It covers the history of the UFO mystery since the crash in Roswell, New Mexico, reported in July of 1947 and documented first in the local newspaper, the Roswell Daily Record, with a UFO crash report on the front page. But the next day, the story was retracted by the military as a mere weather balloon with photos of part of the so-called balloon. Obviously, the aluminum foil and some wood sticks were not at all from the UAP that crashed that day. It was not believable and did not match the reports from actual eyewitnesses, and there were many. But this was the government's early attempts at disinformation, and it worked. It didn't matter that 2 groups of civilians witnessed what they thought was a plane crash and appeared at the crash site to see actual non-human biological beings, aka NHI, laying in the desert dust outside of their split-open spacecraft, with one 4-foot-tall ET alive but appearing to be agitated and in great mental distress. And Jeremy also presents us with a bizarre JELLYFISH UAP video recorded over a U.S. military base in Iraq. He claims he has seen a second video of the object flying into a local lake, then re-emerging 17 minutes later and shooting upwards and disappearing. By the way, I want to mention that my photos of Jeremy, George, and Lex Friedman were generated by the Midjourney AI graphics app and are not actual photos of these amazingly talented journalists. I know they are busy guys, and I didn't want to bother them with a request for their real photos. I have to say that the AI images look pretty good, using only text to describe their features. No names were given. If you've noticed, I've animated the images using a unique AI animation app called Pika. It's very cool. Thus started the military classified disinformation campaign of denial, and not a river in Egypt, of these UFO crashes, warning witnesses they witnessed nothing, which led to a total debunking of any and all reports of UFO activity from 1947 to 2021, when the Pentagon released the 9-page UAP report. Yes, they did eventually reveal some new UAP videos and a report or two, but their denials of the facts were apparent even as I write this piece. Though in reality, the Pentagon, with the aid of a few private aerospace contractors, are currently trying to reverse engineer the crashed crafts. And it's rumored that they have dozens of crashed crafts with a number of working vehicles. Because they won't admit to what they have, even after career intelligence officer David Grusch testified before Congress in July of 2023 that he had proof of numerous non-human-made crafts and that alien bodies are in our possession. Unfortunately, we are still in the dark. But the Inspector General, Thomas Mannheim, was briefed on the facts and has recently, in a skiff, briefed 16 congressmen and verified that Grusch was credible, but very little progress has gone toward disclosure. Newsflash. This has been an historic cover-up of the greatest scientific discovery in the history of mankind. We have been visited by advanced non-human biological beings not from this earth, and the truth is out there and has been withheld from citizens of the world for at least 7 decades. I am hoping the truth and the evidence withheld will drop on our heads like a falling anvil from one of the wacky Looney Tunes cartoons we enjoyed on Saturday mornings as kids. Here are the titles of some of the Weaponized podcasts on YouTube by Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. They are fascinating, astonishing, and mind-blowing at the same time. You'll find the links to each of the titles below in the description. If you are listening to this story from my Spotify podcast, just jump to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/cybertimesllc and click on Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp UFO Superstars. And if you like what you see and hear, please subscribe. I'm Howard from Crazy Tech, Cyber Times LLC. Weaponized episode number 46, The History of UFO Disclosure. Can the public handle the truth? Weaponized episode number 45, UFOlogy's Darth Vader changes his tune about crashed saucers. Weaponized episode number 44, The fight for UFO disclosure is just beginning. Weaponized episode number 43, Saucers, Bodies, Debris, The Lost Tapes of UFO Whistleblower Colonel Philip Corso. Weaponized episode number 42, Cosmic Conspiracies, Breaking the Code of UFO Secrecy. And Weaponized episode number 41, Shoot Them Down, Military Uses Lethal Force Against UFOs. And you can watch the 3-part TMZ series called UFO Revolution on Tubi TV following the link in the description.